Okay, cool.
All right.
Little fish.
Yeah. All right, ready, Freddy's?
Okay.
I'm hitting record and 3, 2, 1. Hello, Perceptionists.
Welcome to Perceptionists Anonymous.
I'm Emily.
I'm Christiane. Hi.
Krista Lynn. Hello.
Hi, girl. Welcome.
And it's Moonisode Day.
What are we talking about?
We are currently going to talk about the new moon in Pisces, which my favorite thing was affectionately dubbed the Pisces puddle by a renowned astrologer named Kelly Surtees. She is awesome. And I was doing extra research for this stuff this week. And when she called it that, it tickled me. So I wanted to share with you guys.
That's adorable. I love that.
It feels so genuine. Feels right.
Okay, it feels on point. And
She's all, you're right, it does.
My boy dog.
Your dog a Pisces?
There it is. Sorry, guys. I don't know what set him off, but he finally decided it was worth getting up for. So that is Jack. Zelda is the one in the back here who's
Babies?
Like, I'm the chill one. He's got
She's usually the instigator. Jack, he's a Scorpio. Everything's so she's a Virgo. Can you tell?
Is that a bird? That's a bird, isn't it?
There is a squirrel outside that actually torments them on purpose. I've seen it happen.
That's awesome.
So with that one.
It's like an interaction.
Yeah. Speaking of Pisces and emotions and all those things, this new moon is really cool. And the full moon that we'll talk about in another episode is even better. It's so nice, you guys. The sky's doing almost normal sky things again.
Yay!
Doesn't quite feel like it, but that's good.
Well, we're not in it yet at the recording of this, but we are starting it now. Like, all of the planets are moving out of Aquarius, leaving Saturn and Jupiter to do their own thing on their own, kind of sit on it for a while, which is fine. Okay. But having everybody there when Saturn is sort of like, it's my party and I'll leave it if I want to. Like, truly, my dad is very Saturn influential and he used to leave his own birthday parties just because it wasn't his vibe, right?
Irish goodbye.
Right? So thinking about that, like Aquarius had a little too many cooks in the kitchen for the first piece of 2021. That is why things were so intense. Part of the reason. There are also other factors that I've talked about on my pages on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. But really focusing now, we've got everything kind of moving on out of Aquarius and going back into a normal way of life, which is pretty great. I'm excited about it. For this new moon, we only have Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury is trucking its way out of Aquarius at this point, but they're at least separated from each other by a pretty decent amount of degrees. So nobody is like sitting on someone else, It's like that scene in Princess Diaries where she's like, someone sat on me again. And just because it happens, there's just not enough room. And I always loved that. And I don't know why. I just thought it was a great scene. So best movie. So now we're looking at this new moon and it's Piscean, and Pisces is great. And you can kind of feel the energy coming through me and the fact that I can't seem to get around to the point. When
I'm doing great. You're doing great. Walk us down, girl.
Right? Pisces is about like dreaminess, depth, but it in that depth has a hard time being decisive, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're looking at is there is a bit of a stellium in Pisces for this. We have the sun and the moon, obviously, because it's a new moon. We also have Neptune, which is it's very comfortable in Pisces. It's part of the rulership of Pisces. So it is also dreamy and very Neptunian, right? Neptune, deep ocean, Pisces, deep ocean. You can see how they associate with each other. Venus is also there, conjunct Neptune. So it's like a romantic kind of like dreaminess going on with that. So we're lacking focus on this new moon to begin with. That's going to be a feeling that we have. And as of the exact moment where this new moon really hits, not only that, but the new moon is happening in the first house. So it's happening very personally to us, not like in the area of your life that affects your family. It's the area of life that affects you. So you personally are feeling very dreamy during this new moon, which is great for manifesting, right? Mm-hmm. So if we apply it to that limitless, detached ability to manifest the highest and best thing, or, what I want or better, that's going to be really handy, right?
Awesome.
There is a T-square that goes along with this between the nodes of the moon, so our direction and where we're coming from. So this T-square is saying, like, if you want to know and get some clarity on where you're going and you're feeling a little bit too dreamy to be decisive yourself, look to the other. The other is usually in the 7th house. It's partnerships, marriages, business partners, people who are really close friends, just those who are in it for the long haul with you. Like a very committed, sometimes binding relationship, kind of like a contract, which is why we consider marriage in there as well. But I think in modern day and age, you can consider anybody that you are committed to. And that can be energetically as well as on paper.
We just did our contract episode, actually, or it's about to come out.
Yeah.
Or it will come out around this time.
Those types of relationships are governed by the 7th house in an astrological chart. So that's fun. So what we're looking at is, looking at my notes here, this is a really big focus on inner transformation. It's appreciating your own beauty from the inside out, which is so cool. Again, we have a lot of this Piscean energy going on, but it's in the 1st house. So it's saying, like, I need to figure out on the inside what I appreciate and then let that reflect on the outside. This is like your cosmic first day of school. So remember when you'd have your first day of school and you'd be like, okay, I want to wear this outfit and I want people after this summer where anything could have happened, I'm going to show up like this now and change my image entirely and be as, hopefully, as authentic as possible in this way. This is a great time to be manifesting your authentic self from the inside out. So it's really important to be focusing on inner work. In fact, the North Node, they are right aligned with the midheaven and I see it's the Imam Coli. It's just the opposite of the midheaven. It's what would be at midnight on a clock, right? Okay. So that's the internal work. That's the at home. That's the family, where the midheaven is the reputation, the outward you, the image that people see when you're presenting something. So we're doing a lot of inner work. That's where the North Node is here. So it's about transforming on the inside and then letting that glow all the way out. So the affirmation that I came up with for this one is, I see the beauty on the inside and find it reflected in my outer world. Beauty and peace begin within me. And then, of course, I got stuck in my head that Christmas song of let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. But that's so true. And I can't find a reference to Christmas in that song. So I'm going to say it's totally okay to sing that song if you want to.
That's beautiful.
I don't think there is a reference to Christmas, actually, now that you mentioned that.
No,
other than the connotation of Christmas.
Yeah.
Then we're told, it's told, we're told it's about Christmas. Like, I guess everything's about Christmas in that case.
Happy birthday to you. It's Christmas.
Jesus' birthday.
We're focusing on
go team.
Because once you find inner peace, you actually do contribute to outer peace. Because if you are at peace, you're not going to get angry as easily. If you are at peace, you're not going to be as contentious, or you're not going to get triggered or offended as quickly. You're going to be able to see someone else and be like, okay, I can hold space for you too. And then I can share that peace with you outwardly. It really does start internally and go on the outside. So this is an amazing opportunity to nurture that and manifest that and really appreciate the peace within you.
Be the change you wish to see.
Exactly. And start with The Man in the Mirror. Let's go ahead and quote another song.
God, I love that song. I do. I'm like, and that shit's gonna be stuck in my head all day.
I know how you said it. I don't know, Crystalline, if I've ever told you this story, but maybe our listeners would find it cool. One of my coolest experiences my whole life kind of revolves around Michael Jackson songs. So like every time they come up, immediately my brain goes, yeah. I think I told you that, maybe I don't. But basically I went to Europe right after he died, like the year after he died.
I don't know when he died.
And so, oh, you were?
I was in Hungary and moving over to Austria. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So we went the year after he died, and we were in the Vatican City, and we were about to listen to the Pope speak. And this was the Pope that resigned. That was the Pope. It was. I forget his name. He was very, very old. That Pope, not John Paul, not Benedict, but one in the middle. Anyway,
Gotcha.
We were there, and we're sitting in the crowd, and they had this. There was people in this crowd, and everyone basically had their flags and stuff, and there was just different people in groups, usually based on country, kind of all around us, because there's different tour groups and stuff. But it was, I don't know, they later said it was something that like there was, I think it was like 35 different countries there is like represented there is what they said. And there was this band that was like a school band from Italy, from Rome somewhere. Like they had invited these school kids to play
cool.
songs, and they were playing just like different, kind of religious songs and things like that. And then they started playing We Are the World. And it started, and everyone started realizing what they were playing, and the whole crowd started singing in 35 different languages together spontaneously. And like everybody sobbing and looking around, and there was like these African royalty up on the dais. I don't know what country they were from. I think like Namibia or something, or like they like had like the stuff on, and they had that flag, and everyone was singing. It was one of the coolest experiences. And that was like, it dictated a lot of the trip, because everywhere we went, we heard that song or The Man in the Mirror, because everyone was listening to it because he had just like kind of passed. And it was really, really cool. So that was every time that's brought up, my brain and body and energy goes back to that moment, because it's so
that's a beautiful moment to have. Wow.
Yeah, I've got full chills on that.
It was mind-blowing.
Oh my God. I saw this video. I mean, I guess a little moderately on topic. There's a video of the beginning of a Green Day concert, and they're waiting for the band to come on, and there's like hundreds of thousands of people there, like, or maybe like 70,000 or something outrageous. And they start playing Bohemian Rhapsody, and every single person is singing in the group. And it brought me to fucking tears immediately. Like, I recommend anyone to watch this video too. Like, every single person, and they're like splitting off into the Galileo parts. And I was like, this is anything with people like singing like that experience you had. I'd probably, I would just cry. I'd probably be crying still. I don't know.
I don't remember what the Pope said. That mattered so much more.
I couldn't imagine you would. I'd be like, do you remember 10 minutes ago when that happened?
I remember he rolled up in the Pope mobile. That was fun. Then that was
what a great representation of the theme of this new moon too. Like, talk about sharing peace with people, even beyond language barriers or any other barriers that would have been represented. Singing together, you don't get much more world peace than that. So
wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you guys.
Cool.
My mom was accidentally blessed by Pope Benedict once, because we on the same trip went in for the Easter service. And this was around the time that everybody was checking for I think it was bird flu at the time. So every border we went to, we were on a mission trip to go help kids in Romania. And every border we went to, they like checked us, and mom was like, don't cough, don't sneeze, they'll think we have it and we'll get detained. And then she got a tickle in her throat. But anyway, we were at the Easter thing, and she sneezed in the Vatican during the Easter service. And we're looking up where the Pope's sitting, at way up there, right? And I saw him go like this. And I'm just like, I'm not Catholic, but I know, sneeze, he just crossed himself. He's probably looking for my mom. That's hilarious.
That's beautiful, actually.
No blessing for my mom who sneezed during the Easter service at the Vatican.
That's cool. Oh my gosh.
So good. I love that.
So
how many people were there?
A lot. It was crazy. But the woman we were traveling with actually was, she taught the Swiss Guard English. It was one of the things. So
interesting. The interesting thing that I noticed when I went to the Vatican, like I was expecting this Vatican Square, which is like where the thing that I was at was held, and I also went inside the Sistine Chapel and all that. But like, I thought it was going to be bigger. It was not big. It is not large. It is a very it is small. Like you can walk from one side to the other of it really fast. Like it doesn't take a lot of time.
I don't think they originally thought it was going to be a tourist destination.
Yeah, it's true.
They didn't plan for that.
I think about that a lot about Europe, like all the roads, like how European cars have to be so small. It's like, yeah, because people were walking. It was all for walking. You know what I mean?
I was watching a TikTok about the domino effect of how the Saturn V rockets, the size of them is actually based on Roman carts when they invaded England, because carts designated how wide horse carts ended up being, designated how wide cars ended up being, designated trains, designated because it was transported by train, the Saturn V rocket.
Interesting.
So,
whoa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Leave it to Rome.
Connecting the whole world.
Left a mark, right? Go people.
That's such a Roman thing to do, to be dictating shit even after it's fucking the Roman
thousands of years. Yeah, before gasoline was invented or experienced. Yeah.
I got feelings about the Roman Empire. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's
good. I don't trust anyone that doesn't, I think. Like, so, first date. What's your thought on the Rome? No, like old Rome.
Like,
So anybody listening, if you're feeling as distracted today as we are just recording this episode, you're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Thank you, Michael Jackson.
For those of you listening, she just crossed herself like the Pope did for Crystalline's mom.
And in his name, amen.
This needs to stop. This needs
Okay.
to stop.
Next episode. Love you guys. Happy New Moon.
Oh my gosh. Do you have an affirmation to ground us, Crystal?
Yeah, so actually I do have practical tools to apply this, because you asked me that and I was like, this time I'm going to write some down to feel inspired. So along with the affirmation that I see beauty on the inside and find it reflected in my outer world, beauty and peace begin with me, we can apply this new moon by manifesting the outer expression of your higher self. So meditate to meet them. Emily, I know you've got tons of meditations that help with this. I know a lot of your TikToks talk about meeting guides, and I'm sure apply as well for meeting your higher self. You can journal and interview with your higher self. You can draw them. Again, Emily, I know you paint guides and things like that. So I know that's a thing. Yeah. Writing a story about them, which is something that we talk about in the Forgotten Storytellers. Like, what does your higher self do? Anything you come up with is probably right, especially under this new moon. So just really get clear on that image of them and then step into it. Fake it till you make it, even though you already are it because it's your higher self. Just let yourself really embody that higher self that you can imagine, because that's your highest, most amazing, beautiful potential. So that's really cool. And a little bonus is that while this new moon happens on March 13th, on the 15th, just a few days later, Mercury will also enter Pisces. So there's going to be a lot of Piscean energy that's very intuitive, very psychic, very unconscious, subconscious, dreamy kind of stuff. And it also solidifies that that party in Aquarius has finally separated, and the planets are going to, spread out a little bit more over the zodiac. So that's really great in this whole process of coming into this new paradigm that we're building.
Amazing.
Yeah, and this is really the time. It's the final sign of the zodiac. Pisces rules the 12th house before we begin anew in spring with Aries, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But the cool thing about that is this is the time to process. This is the time to give yourself space, to give yourself solitude if you need it, to talk to someone and be really honest and deep and process everything you've been through since last March. Think about this, right? March 2020 happened in Pisces season. This was always going to be an unconscious shift. Mm-hmm. And now we're full circle. Now we're revisiting that and we're processing everything that's happened in that cycle. Give yourself that space, that grace, that time. This is a perfect time to do it.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Thank you.
How's that for today?
I know. Good job.
We're rounded now.
Yeah. Perceptionists, thank you so much for tuning into this. If you want more of Crystalline's astrological wisdom, please go check her out on Instagram or on TikTok. Her handle is @TheRealCrystalLynn. It is linked below. You can all follow blah 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 blah. You can also follow us. Look at me go. At Perceptionist Anonymous on Instagram. You can email us perceptionistanonymous@gmail. Like us on Facebook, Perceptionist Anonymous. We're on YouTube. You can look at us. YouTube, Perceptionist Anonymous.
You can look at us.
I mean, that's what it is. We have viewing hours now. So
Visiting hours.
Right, visiting hours. You can check us out.
24 hours.
This situation. But yeah, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And as always, remember, yay.